Hey everybody, welcome to Real Science with Chris Neal. I just wanted to make a video here about growth hormone. Now, I've been doing a lot of research, a whole lot of research into growth hormone for a long time. There's been some newer research that's come out over the past several years, but I tried to compile everything that modern science knows about growth hormone, its factors, and how it all works mechanically into one video. And this is going to be tough because it's a lot. There are a lot of things that I'm not going to get into in this video. Does growth hormone work? Yes, it does work. There's tons of videos, there's tons of information and testimonials on how much growth hormone works for things that we wouldn't even imagine. It's just, I've had many patient testimonials about how effective it is. So it's amazing. This is all about understanding the science and the mechanism behind growth hormone, its factors, and how it does what it does. So this is a major geek out session. So hang on to your seats and hang with me here, and then we'll dig into it. If you have any questions, you can always give us a call at our clinic, Viking Alternative Medicine. You can reach us on the web at vikingalternative.com and set up a free consultation. We can talk all about it. So here we go. What I want to do, I tried to put as much information as I could on one board, but we're going to start with everything on the top side. Okay, this is all about explaining growth hormone. When we talk about growth hormone, the first thing people think of is HGH, but there's an entire world beyond that. And so in order to understand how we can effectively supplement and use growth hormone, we first have to take a big step back and figure out, okay, how does our body make growth hormone in the first place? Mechanically, what does growth hormone do? Where does it go? How does it act? And then we can understand, okay, if you're low or deficient in something, somatopause is what we call it, then how can we best effectively supplement that in a safe and healthy way to get you the goals and the performance that you need? That's what I like to call performance medicine. So, but first, it has to start with the understanding on the mechanics. Okay, you guys know that I'm very big on mechanics. So this is how it starts. We're gonna talk about two big things, and it's all related into what I call the growth hormone family: growth hormone itself and ghrelin. Okay, that's a new one for a lot of you guys, I'm sure, but huge, big factor. A lot of new research coming out about ghrelin. Then you're gonna hear all about it. So this is it. The first part that we're going to talk about is your body's natural mechanism. Okay, a lot of the natural mechanism for the production of growth hormone happens in the brain. All of this is in the brain. This is the hypothalamus right here in the dead center middle of the brain, very close, millimeters away from the anterior pituitary. They're actually connected right here, very close, tiny little parts, but extremely important into how you get through your day. Everything about you, your hormones, that's the center hub of everything. So the way it starts is with the production of a hormone, a very short-living hormone called growth hormone releasing hormone. Creative name, I know, but that's what it is. Growth hormone releasing hormone. That's produced in the hypothalamus, and it has to take a millimeter trip into the anterior pituitary, and that's where growth hormone is made, right in here. So how do we get that stuff though? How do we get growth hormone releasing hormone? This is what's going on inside the hypothalamus. Certain things can shift our balance. Are we going to be making more growth hormone releasing hormone? Exercise, nutrition, sleep, that tips the scales to allow us to produce more of that stuff, okay? All good things, very important. You guys know that already, but this is the mechanism behind it. This is the science behind it all. So right here, the other end of the scale, what's going to tip our scale the other way? To produce growth hormone inhibiting hormone that's going to inhibit this whole production. Very bad. What's going to do that? A consistent diet with high fatty acids. That'll do it. A consistent diet of high sugar content, blood sugar. Maintaining a high blood sugar, okay? So when those two things are out of whack, it's going to produce higher growth hormone inhibitory hormone, which is going to inhibit the whole process. And the third one here, which is the most common, obviously, is age. The more time you spend on Earth, the more of this growth hormone inhibitory hormone is produced, which slows down the entire process, decreases your growth hormone, and we call that somatopause. So very much like menopause, andropause when it comes to men, somatopause, men and women, get somatopause when it comes to their own body's natural production of growth hormone. Okay, so that's what it's called. So that's the growth hormone releasing hormone process. Okay, extremely important. Now the second process that is arguably just as big, is something that's called ghrelin. Okay, it sounds kind of weird, but it's growth hormone releasing. So it's called ghrelin. That's what it's called. But it's not produced in the brain at all. Most people think, like I said kind of in the beginning, that all of this starts in the brain, and a lot of it doesn't. So this actually starts in the stomach of all places. It's a hormone that's actually produced in the lining of the stomach. And this hormone, once it's produced in the stomach, it goes all over the body. And it has its very own receptors that do all kinds of things. We're going to get into that in a minute down here. Okay? But one of the places, or the most important place that it goes, most impactful place that it goes, is in the brain. Okay? So it's going to go to the brain, and it's going to sit right next door to the growth hormone releasing hormone and help the anterior pituitary produce growth hormone. It has its own receptors for that, and we're going to get into that. So the stomach actually can lead to the production of growth hormone in a very, very, very big way. Very big way. So that's important. It's very, very important to keep that in mind. So that is the science behind our natural production of growth hormone. Then growth hormone goes on to do what it does. And we're not going to get into a whole lot of detail with that, but we are going to touch on it. So now this is everything here on the bottom end, okay? This is where the serious geek out session happens, okay? Here we go. All right, just hang with me, everybody. So now, the thing about hormones that is most interesting is that mechanically a hormone is just a signal. It's just a message. It doesn't actually do anything, but it carries a signal. What actually does the work is the receptor. The receptor is it's fixed in a fixed location. It's a three-dimensional object like this right here. This is our growth hormone releasing hormone. I just drew a picture, but the idea is that it's a three-dimensional object, and only one thing will fit into this. It has to be like a lock and key, and it fits just right into the receptor. As soon as growth hormone releasing hormone fits into this like a lock and key, boom, there we go. We have production of growth hormone. This actually does the work. It sets a chain reaction going that produces growth hormone. Huge. It's really, really cool. So now that we know that, and now that we know that that's how the body actually works and actually does it, how can we go in and supplement and work with that and make that better and get more performance out of that? What can we do with that information? This is where it gets really cool. So there are synthetic mimics. So synthetic secretagogs is another name for it. They're basically a molecular structure that looks and has a similar three-dimensional shape that fits into the receptor that produces the same response. It's awesome. It's awesome. And so we're able to produce these secretagogs or mimics, okay, that can cause the exact same process to occur. So as far as growth hormone releasing hormone is concerned, it doesn't know or care whether it's actually hit by the actual hormone itself or one of the secretagogs. It doesn't know. It doesn't matter. Okay? It gets hit, it turns on, boom, and it makes growth hormone. There you go. It's as simple as that. So our secretagogs that are most like the growth hormone releasing hormone is sermorelin. Very, very popular. It's out there. It's very well known. Probably one of the most well-known ones. And it works very well. It really does. It works very well for what it does. And tesamorelin is another one. It's quite a bit more expensive, but structurally, as far as what it does, it has the same three-dimensional structure that fits inside the receptor, and that's the important part. Okay, they have different shapes and they have different sizes. They can be bigger on the outer side, but the part that fits in here is the same, and the same as growth hormone releasing hormone, and it produces the same thing. They do have some differences in their half-life, how long they last, but they still do the same freaking thing. So that's what's so important here. CJC, $12.95. That's another one. So secretagogue, these three are very similar. They also have a CJC 1295 with DAC is another one that you guys have heard of. DAC is just a longer lasting version of the same thing. It's all about timing. Structurally, mechanically, they do the exact same freaking thing, but it's all about timing, okay? So, and longer lasting timing isn't always a good thing. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's where things get a little bit deeper, that you really need to schedule a consultation with a good hormone specialist that can go over things for you and understands all of this. If they don't understand, first off, how the process works naturally, then how in the world can you understand how to supplement it and make it better? That's just my thought. So these are the secretagogues here, okay? So any of these, once they hit the receptor, growth hormone is made. Okay, right in here, boom, that's what we're after. Awesome. Okay, so, but then what happens next? What does growth hormone do? Well, okay, so before we figure out or we talk about what growth hormone does, first thing that happens is we need to understand growth hormone, again, by itself doesn't really do anything. Growth hormone is a signal, it's a message, it's an email. Okay, it doesn't actually do anything by itself. It carries a signal to a receptor somewhere else in the body. The receptor actually does the work, okay, or initiates the work. So the first thing we need to understand is, okay, well, then where does it go? Where does growth hormone go by itself? So it goes to a bunch of different places. Where are the receptors for growth hormone? It goes to the cartilage, your ligaments, your tendons, right? It goes to your bone density. You know, it really helps heal those things and activate those things. There's receptors in there for all of the growth hormone. So it goes to your brain. It goes to the nervous system. Okay, it can heal and recover nerves. It's amazing what it can do. It goes to your fat. It actually travels to fat. There's receptors in your fat cells for growth hormone. And as soon as growth hormone hits those receptors, then growth hormone initiates the fat cells to let go. Let go of the fat. Release the fat and fatty acids. Okay, very important. All right, that's how growth hormone allows, or one of the many ways growth hormone allows you to lose weight. Okay, and stay more lean. So the last place, the biggest place, or the place that has the most receptors for growth hormone is the liver. Very, very important. Okay, so in the liver, two big things that it does. The first thing it does is it's going to release IGF. Okay, so there's a whole family of IGF factors. Okay, there's IGF-1, 2, there's protein binding factors and a lot of things. These IGF factors, they are also factors that go throughout the body and have receptors all over the body, to the muscles, to the bones, to the skin, to the hair, to the nails, the immune system, all over. And then it does all kinds of things to help modulate and improve and bring back a youthful appearance, help you lose weight, strengthen your muscles and your bone density and your ligaments, help you recover, help you heal. That's where a big part of it happens, is right there in the IGF factors. So the second thing that growth hormone does when it hits the liver and hits those receptors is that it releases glucose. Now, most people don't know this, but the liver is the primary storage place for glucose. It actually stores your glucose in a form called glycogen. So when it activates the liver, it initiates a response to release that glycogen in the form of glucose into the bloodstream. So why would that be a good thing, you wonder? Well, what's important with that is that we need to understand this mechanism and how it works, because that's its way of giving your body more energy to get up and do things and get around, to heal, to recover, to do all of these other things. Your body, all of these other basic processes, your body actually needs glucose for that. It actually does need glucose. In order to keep everything running faster and more performance, we need that energy, we need that glucose. If you don't do anything and put the extra, if the entire picture isn't rounded out as far as your exercise goes, and you're not burning more calories, you're not burning more of that glucose, then can growth hormone result, or the use of growth hormone, can it result into a higher blood sugar level? Yeah, it can. This is why it's so important to get with a medical professional, a hormone specialist who really understands this stuff here. okay, so that they can work with you to figure out exactly what dosage you need to be on, where this can play into your balance, into your lifestyle, and because this can be an amazing performance boost as far as how you feel, how your body recovers from things, and how you do overall day to day. So, but you have to understand it. You have to. So that's the growth hormone aspect. That's where it goes, what it does. Now, let's talk a little bit about this other one, the weird name, ghrelin. Ghrelin. Like I said, it's huge. So let's go back over here to the stomach. Mostly produced in the stomach, the digestive system, okay? So especially when the stomach is empty and you're hungry, that's when you get an extra boost in ghrelin that's produced, okay? When your stomach is full and you're not hungry, then your level of ghrelin goes down a little bit. So you get this ebb and flow, this dynamic throughout the day of production and decrease. Same thing with growth hormone, but it's at a different level. Like your growth hormone releasing hormone and this production, that occurs more at nighttime. It's a little bit less in the daytime, but it's more at nighttime. So this, the ghrelin, is going back and forth. It's supposed to be going back and forth throughout the day. So we get a combination of both of those sets of waves in that dynamic, which is fascinating. So, ghrelin. Ghrelin also has its own receptors just for ghrelin, okay? So let's talk about where ghrelin goes. Once it's produced, it goes all over the place. And it has receptors all over the place. The intestines, right there. It's got receptors right in the intestines. It helps regulate the absorption and your digestion of nutrients. Okay, it helps your body actually pull in and suck in the nutrients that it needs from the food that you eat. So very, very key from that standpoint. Another place that it goes is the heart. It goes to the heart and the kidneys, regulating your output, your cardiac output, how much water you're holding. You know, your electrolyte balance, very, very important there. It's important to maintain a balance with that, okay? So I continue to go back to finding a good medical professional, a hormone specialist that understands this stuff right here, okay? Because if you overdo these things and you're out of balance, then yes, you are going to have some side effects. So that's why it's so important to know how to work with these things, because they can be amazing, but you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing. So that's where ghrelin directly affects the heart and the kidneys. There's ghrelin receptors right there that go to work to help regulate and optimize your output and your water retention. So the next place that it goes, we'll skip the brain for a second. It goes to the pancreas. Really, really cool. So the pancreas is an extremely important digestive organ, okay? And it produces insulin. So once ghrelin gets to the pancreas, boom, it increases, it hits the receptors and it increases your body's insulin production and dumps out more insulin. Insulin, as you guys know, is very, very important to carry sugar throughout the body. Okay? So without insulin, then your sugar just floats around and causes problems like diabetes. So if by increasing your insulin, we pick up this extra glucose that's floating around from the liver, from growth hormone, and then it actually gets into the cells and creates that energy boost. So really big. It also goes to your immune system, decreases inflammation, okay? Decreases inflammation, very big. So, and it also helps improve your immune response, okay? So the final place we're going to talk about that it goes to, biggest place that it goes to is the brain, okay? Big time in the brain. Not only is it going to go and help out here in the hypothalamus, or I'm sorry, the anterior pituitary to help produce growth hormone. It actually dumps right into growth hormone, produces it when it hits that ghrelin receptor in there, but it goes to other places inside the brain too. The arcuate nucleus, it goes to the hypothalamus, it goes to a bunch of other places. They call it the hunger hormone. Ghrelin, they call it the hunger hormone because it initiates your appetite. It kicks your appetite up a notch because your body is the whole mechanism is bringing about more energy, more recovery, more stuff going on. So it's getting you, it's encouraging your body to take in more nutrients because of that. So that's why they call it the hunger hormone. It goes to other parts of the brain, the cognitive part of the brain, to help improve your memory. improve your cognition, your thought process, and it also goes to what's called the nociceptors, or your pain receptors, to help modulate and calm down your pain receptors so they don't get too excited. So very important there, anti-pain. And then, like I said, it goes towards your growth hormone production right up here in the pituitary gland. So very, very big. So ghrelin goes and does all of these things in the parts of the body, but it also produces growth hormone that's going to go to all these places over here to different parts of the body. So really, really cool. Really, really cool how it does that. So just like how we have secretagogs here for our growth hormone releasing hormone, right? We have secretagogs over here for our ghrelin. Okay, same thing, lock and key type mechanism, three-dimensionally it has to fit inside. Once it does, it clicks it on, and that receptor starts going to work and doing what it needs to do, depending on the location that it's in. The secretagogs for ghrelin, MK677 is one of them right there. MK677 is great. I like it because it's easy. It's an oral form. It's just a pill that you swallow. You have to be careful with this and all of the hormones. All of the hormones, whenever you're talking hormone replacement, you need to, I'll say it again, you need to find a good medical professional, a hormone specialist that knows about this stuff. If they don't know about this stuff and they just say, here, take this, then yeah, you're likely to have some imbalances and have some problems. So a lot of the things you read, some of them, yeah, some of it's garbage, but a lot of those things are very real and they can really happen, as far as negative side effects. So understanding how the process works is really important. Like there's nothing wrong with a table saw if you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it and just say, hey, go for it, then yeah, you're going to hurt yourself. So that's what this is all about. So here we go. More secretagogs. MK677 is a great one. Very, very, very long half-life, which is nice. Growth hormone releasing peptide number 2, number 6. Those are both secretagogs that fit lock and key right into the ghrelin receptor. And ipamorelin, another one that fits right into the ghrelin receptor. Okay, all of these boost your growth hormone level. They all do. All of these boost your growth hormone level. Okay, they kick that level up, and but produces all of this stuff, okay? Very, very exciting. So this is my best attempt to try and make some sense out of all of this stuff. I know it's a lot, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to hit me up in the message box. One thing I did want to mention is that at Viking Alternative Medicine, we do have supplements from this whole range. We have actual growth hormone supplementation, okay? We have that. We have Samorelin, CJC1295, MK677, ipamorelin. We can cover all of these bases. We can cover all of these bases and offer them to you at reasonable prices. And also, more importantly, with an understanding and to help you get into your balance so that you're getting a healthy supplementation that's good for you, that's not going to hurt you, and that's going to get you the goals and where you need to be. Okay, very, very important. Thank you guys for your time. This is really my best attempt at trying to explain all of the data, all of the most recent research within the whole growth hormone family, in regards to performance medicine. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please hit me up at vikingalternative.com, or you can reach me on Facebook at Viking Nation. And thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.